tried to start this and told me 3 times an error going live and then started anyway while still showing me the notifications. So didn't read the full title. Do a short live, but free to talk about anything you like, as long as you remain respectful of others. If you're a troll, you get out of line, you're gonna be booted. If you're not a troll and you're disrespectful, you'll be booted. Not gonna be a terribly long one because I have supper on the stove, so hey Chad, you have supper in your belly. Hey Daniel, yeah, I've just got ground hamburger, some sliced cabbage, fire roasted tomatoes, and something else. And just a simple stew. It's cold. Been raining for 3 days. Went out, haven't been to town for 3 days, but got to the end of the drive and looked off. I think it's Mount Laughlin, but half covered in snow already. Yeah, no problem. You can message me if you're on. I don't remember if you're on Instagram, Daniel, but you can message me on Instagram or Facebook Messenger or all lowercase Phillip Phillip dot Rivara Rivara at gmail.com. I'm I have one I've been working on for months for Peter Piper, New York City, and it's a bamboo RC with brass to the bamboo, between the bamboo and the briar, and then because we didn't want the typical distinct line and the bamboo at the top, I spent a couple $100 and a couple months going down rabbit holes, buying materials, and finally I found one that I think works. But it's kind of a skunk works project, so it'll be revealed when it's done. I have someone asking about a church warden, but he hasn't responded back, and he's just busy. I know him. He's in Southern California. And then you know, and then I have a couple other things I want to do, but I'm just kind of slowing down because the hands in the last year and a half, my hands are killing me, back is killing me, everything's going to shit at warp speed. So just very selectively choosing what I want to do and taking my time doing them and doing them like they're going to be the last pipe I'm ever going to do. So yeah, we can do a red. We can do a deep red. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge cell that's been hanging over us, and now it's dropping south. It should have hit you today, Chad. I know my neighbor down in Sacramento that helped me move up here messaged me, and I was like, "Yeah, I bet he's got everything covered, right? He's got a working compressor that belonged to a guy I helped to move to Montana. He's got this big steel tripod over it, hoisting the motor off to put onto another one that doesn't work. Same size tank. I was like, why? But yeah, so everything. And then I can see boats in the backyard. So he's charging these gypsy guys to let them store boats in his backyard. And it's raining now. He ain't going to do shit. He's going to run back to the ship, and, nothing's ever going to get done. Yeah, yeah, definitely by the year end. 25th is kind of pushing it because the USPS through the end of January they've increased prices, and the shipping times have gone to crud. Yeah, there's there's a there's a few big ones coming in. Got a few days of nice 60-degree, mid 60-degree weather. Then this weekend another one coming in, and then after that it looks like the jet stream is just gonna full on drop out of the Arctic across Japan and the Arctic, and just full on hit the Pacific Northwest. uh the metal lathe I have up here doesn't like boring or parting off operations, but the spigot would be a faux spigot would be the easiest thing for me to pull off until I can figure out what the hell's going on with this lathe or buy another older lathe. Um, and if you're not objectionable to aircraft aluminum, that I could do, but brass, bronze, nickel, silver, anything, it totally hates it. It starts chattering. $1,800, and it's 4 months playing around with Grizzly, and they replaced the lathe and got this one, and it works. But yeah, I'm I still have a little bit of time. I might actually tell them come pick it up, refund me, and buy the older lathe. I'm not certain about the 673. I know the Brebbia has a version they call the Toad, and I like the Brebbia version because the heel, the oh, comes down and then it comes back, kind of like the Petersons before it curves up. Very similar to the 320, but I'm not familiar with the 673. So we could do like a faux army mount where it has a metal band on it and a tapered, like an army mount looking taper on the stem, but it would have a regular tenon on it, which is mechanically more sound. Okay, yeah, I have one of the matches I bid on, and somebody was outbid me and then sent it to me, so I have the matches. Yeah. Anything I make isn't gonna break. Add a Q&A sticker. A bad habit you have. Try it. What the heck was that? Got a notification in the middle of my life. They've been asking me to take surveys. I was like, no, not taking a survey. Doesn't matter. Still gonna do what you want to do anyway. If I answer it the way I feel, they'll probably shut me down. They ended one of my Instagram lives twice in one night with no warning, no nothing, no explanation. Then a couple days later, I did another one. They wouldn't let it upload. So, yeah, you're not gonna get burnout from one of my pipes, and it's not gonna break. I mean, if you drop it out of a truck, I've had people, truck drivers, drop them and tenon breaks, but that's why I do most of my pipes with a metal shank cap on them because that ain't gonna break. I've heard that too. I don't know. I just do what I do. I don't know what I do different than anyone else. Yeah, stick a hole and bend it. Let me see if I can turn this around. You guys can't see me. All I can see is the shine off my glasses. I guess that's a little better. Yeah, no, yeah, I remember that, Daniel. No worries. I mean, life happens and nothing's getting cheaper, unfortunately. But, you know, I actually have to sit a little further back because I'm going to break my neck trying to read comments. Yeah, I totally understand that you don't, you know, anybody that sends an inquiry to me, I give them a quote for that time. Obviously things have changed and everything's more expensive now, but I try to be fair. I put a lot of effort into what I do that, I mean, quite honestly, I mean, a lot of guys do, but there's quite a few that charge bank and don't put half the effort into it. I try to work at least as hard for your money as you did. Be fair. Yeah. Yeah, I can see in California all the happy cows are running around with methane collection bags strapped to them and plugged in. I don't have demo pipes. That's curious. Yeah, that's a curious descriptive, but and I don't have any seconds. I sold them to someone, and because he wanted to carve pipes, and I very seldom have any seconds anymore. What he got from me or been sitting on the shelf for years. Yeah, so there is a big difference between the matches. If it's the 673, there's a big difference between that and the 320, especially the 320 KS. 320 KS has a very rapid taper on the stem and tends to want to wedge its way out of your teeth if you're trying to clench it. 673, if Chad is correct, and I assume he is more like a slightly quarter bent Rhodesian, like John smoked. I enjoy it here. Um, can't see it now, but I'm on a hilltop. Shop is down there. The road is even farther below that. And there's the driveway goes down. It's a gravel road, quite steep. I'm glad I got the new tires. I had to buy a GMC or Chevy Silverado because I spent 800 some odd bucks for transmission service and diagnostic. They didn't diagnose shit. They charged me and sent me down the road, and less than 25, 30 miles later, transmission sounded like it was going to grenade. I had to keep feathering the gas pedal just to get up a grade like this. So, bought a new truck, 96 Silverado, four-wheel drive. Got the permanent disabled vet plates on it, so I don't, and I'm smog exempt. Has headers on it, everything. Still has the catalytic converter and stuff on it. Bypassed for resale down the road somewhere, but I like it. It's comfortable. Hey, Mookie. Yeah, and I breathe much better up here. I was worried about the change in altitude, but I've only had one instance where I felt like I might be getting close to having to call 911, waking up in the morning. And, and that's Thanksgiving will be a year I've been here, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, every day I go out and have coffee. Hummingbird buzzes me, and I'm deaf in this ear pretty much, and I hear it, and I look, and there's a hummingbird, and my knee-jerk reaction is to start swinging because it reminds me of being overseas and this big giant beetle's trying to land on your face. And then I watch turkeys, a dozen or more turkeys, walk around the yard, and now we're getting into the autumn rut. So the big bucks are finished practicing butting heads together and they're off chasing, but the young bucks, the stags, with East Coast or West Coast spike or 2 points. They're hanging out with the mothers still a couple years old in the fawns. So there's about 7 or 8 deer that walk around, and I sit there. They don't even care. They just come up within 10 feet, 8 feet of me, and they just look at me and they're used to me, and they just say, okay, you know, every day. The only problem I had when I first moved up here, and I can't even tell you how many pipes I have. I have quite a few, and a lot of them are very old pipes. I did a couple lives smoking a pipe, and it did not go well because of the humidity, the moisture in the air up here. Um, it had soured every single one of my pipes, so I have to go through, I don't know, somewhere between 80 and 120 pipes, and I have to go through all of them and ream them out, clean them. Yeah, time does fly. So I've got 4 more years here. I'm 60% rated disability by the VA, and that's just for the lower back and bilateral. That doesn't include the original neck injury, which has already been documented, all the acupuncture, all this nonsense, and loss of grip, degenerative disc disease. Every joint in my body is, since my 30s, has looked like a 60-year-old, which I am now, so I don't even want to know what it looks like now. But hips, knees, ankles, my hands are killing me, shoulders, the body's just, skeletal system is just tore up. So I've been contemplating taking the TDIU, they call it in the VA, total disability, which would give me about altogether $4,000 a month. But I can't earn any money doing that, and so even though it hurts, I still enjoy being able to do this as I can. I mean, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. It keeps me occupied instead of just sitting around doing nothing, you know. But trying to hang on as long as I can. But there is that option, and that option is I can take the 100% TDIU unemployable because I can't sit or stand more than a couple hours, and my balance sucks. Can't hear shit, you know. So I could take that until I get 100% VA disability, but I'm stubborn. I'm trying to avoid that as long as I can. Oh yeah, they know, but I've been very conscientious about staying under the federal reporting threshold. So I actually saw something. If even on TDIU, as long as you don't earn more than the what they call, what is it, 12,000 or 13,000, somewhere around there. As long as you don't earn more than that, the poverty level, then you're okay. But hey, if I'm if if I'm getting $4,000 a month from the VA, you know, I can be pretty picky and choosy about what I do. I'm not trying to be geriatric hamster on a treadmill trying to just feed myself. Hey, Artie. I'm one of those people like I, 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 I don't retire. I mean, when I watch YouTube and stuff, or I do stuff, I'm because I don't have the. Well, I used to read a lot, but I don't read so much anymore. So I'll go down the YouTube rabbit hole and watch stuff. I'll watch political, some things just to be aware of what's going on from the non-traditional sources, so to speak. Doesn't mean I agree with them or disagree with them. I just want different perspectives. and then I'll make up my own mind. But the rest of it is I'm looking for materials, techniques, technology, uh, how to, that I like creating things, and that's whether it's science or whatever it is, whatever form of science, I guess you could say. So I go down rabbit holes, learning things. If it's a bad day, every day I go to bed thinking tomorrow I'm gonna do this, and I wake up every 2 3 hours. Sometimes I wake up kicking the shit out of the wall, not just kicking, but in my mind I'm solar plexus kicking, and then I go soaking the as I screw it 4:30. Screw it, I'm up. Go have a hot bath, soak in the tub with some Epsom salt for 45 minutes an hour. Go out, have some espresso and a cigarette and a bunch of profanities and not today, and get a couple trips to the shop and back, and then I'm just it just kicks my ass. Probably the blood pressure medicine they have me on is just kicking my ass. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. I've been fighting the VA since 1989 for the back injury, neck injury initially, and back injury, same duty station. It's kind of like, I think a lot of vets, I've said it, and I heard from neighbors that are both 100% disabled vets, Army Ranger, and another guy was Air Force. It's like they're waiting for you to die before they pay you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been cooking since I was 7 years old. So I've worked in a lot of restaurants, helping develop the business. My former mother in law consulted most of the Chinese restaurants in Sacramento. Favorite meal? Hmm, I don't have a favorite meal, but I do like pastas. I like beef. I like lamb. I like duck. I mean, carnivore, anything I like. Hard to say. I don't have one. When I was a kid, uh, barbecue beef ribs were my favorite. Am I brutal? ECW, and yeah, I was trying to replace my M65 field jacket, and I bought one from Rothko. And it was large, and fuck me, because in the military I wore a medium tall. That thing hung on me like a tent, so I just gave it to the neighbor. He's going to give it to his grandson. And then I bought this one, and this is okay, but I don't like all this Velcro on the arms. Oh, there's turkeys all over the place here. There's deer. I mean, if I held an apple, the deer would literally walk up to me because they're used to me. But and there's a place about 7 8 miles down the road called the Butcher Shop. They sell beef. They sell venison. they sell exotic meats, they sell everything. So I don't need to do that. My neighbor hunts. He bought the trailer from me and he took it, and trailer isn't here, so he's just home for the weekends. I'm assuming he's going back to the trailer to finish up his deer hunt. I used to like turkey. I'm not so big on turkey anymore. Maybe some thigh meat and a whole bunch of stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy, but I'm not so big on turkey anymore. I don't know why. Goose, duck, chicken, pork roast, I'm fine. Beef roast, chuck roast. Give me 1 minute, gentlemen. I will be right back. I don't know how John did his lives without a restroom break, but I need the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, you could, you know, carnivore diet, there's a lot to be said for it if you look into it. Truck stop food, I mean, if you want hamburger or something, just order the hamburger patties without the bread, or chicken fried steak or pork chops. Just stay away from all the grains and sugars and stuff. Yeah, well, the Italians aren't suffering too much for pizza, but the pizza in Italy isn't made with the same highly processed nonsense that we have here. Yeah, I've been. There's a lady up in Portland apparently. I saw her on Instagram, and she buys retired dairy cows. But and dairy cows, in case you didn't know, are always grass fed. And so she buys them. They're gonna retire them, and then she, you know, takes them for another 6 months or so, and then has them slaughtered and sells them. And okay, but you're better off going to Craigslist in your area and just searching beef or lamb or goat, and because a lot of I get it, the farmers should have a decent price, but when they're not doing anything different than they sell it to the meat packers, that doesn't justify, you know, $10 a pound for a hamburger, you know. Olive oil has its place, depending what you're cooking. Butter has its place. Olive oil is a seed oil, but actually, olive oil is good for you, unlike grapeseed oil or flaxseed oil or linseed oil or sunflower or safflower oil. Canola. Canola oil was originally used as a lubricant in aircraft, and then decided it was food safe and marked it. Canadian oil is what is it? Flaxseed or linseed, something they've done to linseed oil. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot about vegetable oil, but corn oil, peanut oil, all that stuff. You're better to use tallow. You can go to the butcher and get the beef fat, and then just cook it down just to render all the fat out. You can cook with that. That's much healthier. Um, your bacon grease, save the drippings off that. That's the way I grew up on the dairy, and save the bacon drippings and use that to cook. Yeah, the seed oils are bad. The whole food pyramid was a bunch of bullshit. Cornflakes. Cornflakes, much like Henry Ford. Henry Ford set up this utopia in, what was it, South America or somewhere, you know. But he was into eugenics, the same as the guy who invented cornflakes. And the reason he did cornflakes is it made money, tasted good to the kids, whatever. But they knew at the time that the consuming cornflakes, and part of the eugenics is they think there are too many people on the world. But they didn't want to give up their position. They just wanted to eliminate your position. So cornflakes was part of that. And it's still going today in all various forms of cereal. And what they found, the study showed that reduces the sperm count in men. So go figure. Well, well, you need the fat. I mean, if you're on the carnivore diet, they're like, just eat it. Butter, all that. Forget the margarine and stuff. The fats. These are things the body needs. Humans didn't evolve eating grapes, crushing the oil out of grape seeds and shit. Serial killers. I mean, I moved up here and it took months for me to see my primary, and then the primary wasn't there. I was talking to his nurse, asked me what meds I was on. I told her, and then she took the hydrochlorothiazide, was half a pill each day. She prescribed me one pill a day, so I was taking that. I couldn't even walk down the hill to the shop and back up. I was so freaking fatigued. I needed a freaking escalator and a rope. So I quit it, and I started going back to the half a pill a day. And now I do that kind of sporadically. But hydrochlorothiazide, according to some very reputable doctors that do studies and actually do research on YouTube, has one of the worst side effects. Well, I mean, define junk food. I mean, going to KFC or McDonald's and having a ice cream cone or a fruit pie or something is probably not that great for you. But chicken, deep fried chicken, it's not as oily as people think, because once you're actually, the only place there should be oil is on the outside. Once it stops bubbling, you take it out. If you keep cooking it past the point where the bubbles are coming off, then it's starting to pull the oil back in. So that's different, and it depends on the oil they're using too. If they're using lard, non-hydrogenated lard, or tallow, and, even whatever other oils, high temp oils, should be fine because it's very minimal. But you know, just get a rotisserie chicken. Hamburgers, nothing wrong with. There's a doctor that's carnivore. He's 59, and he's running track meets against college students and high school students. And he does pretty good. But if he has to go to fast food, he just orders like a double burger or whatever. Just tells them skip the bread, just give me the patties, the meat patties. The thing is, we evolved eating meat, and then in times of, or lean times, I should say, we would eat berries and fruit and supplement our diets. But everything, all the vitamins, all the minerals you need come from meat. Hey, you look at India and Africa have the lowest expected life expectancy, and these are the places that are they're vegan. you know the Buddhist monks, they don't live that long. If you can't afford steaks, Go buy 75-25 or 70-30 ground beef. Eat that. Don't drink sodas. Don't don't drink beer. So yeah, so it depends what you call junk food, because there is real junk food. High fructose corn syrup, man, it's a whole litany of things. Yeah. Fresh cut sandwich meats. If you're going to the deli, that's not fresh cut. Um, that's the same process. But if you're talking about you roasted a chicken and you ate the wings and thighs, drumsticks off it, and then you're sliced. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, and the biggest one is walking. Walking goes a really long way to reducing your cholesterol, your blood pressure, everything. I've, not intentionally. I haven't done fasting, but there's been times when I've been busy and or I was just too tired and I didn't eat for 3 days. Drink some water, whatever. But interesting that there was a study years ago that actually some of the Holocaust survivors, whether they were Jewish or Polish or Russian Jews, or actually, in the study showed that it skipped generations. So the generation that survived the Holocaust and they were famished, starvation diets basically. The next generation didn't have the same life expectancy, but the generation after that, so their grandchildren seem to live longer than the next great grandchildren didn't live as long, than the great grandchildren seem to live longer. So there's something about fasting or starvation. There's something there that alters the chemistry or the DNA in the body. Uh, Basically, there's 3 meals a day, and if you want more, you can get more, whatever, in the military. But troops require so many calories per day that, I mean, you look at MREs. MREs are fast food. There's all kinds of chemicals in it. They don't care the long term effects. All they care about is you have enough calories, whether you're a working stiff in the military or you're in a combat situation. If you're in a combat situation, you may, instead of 2,500, 3,000 calories a day, you might need 4,000, 5,000 calories a day. Yeah. Whatever they're serving, they serve, and you have a choice, and you can come back for seconds, thirds, whatever. But if you're in a combat situation or out in the field, you're eating MREs. Yeah. Sorry, had this cough for a couple weeks. It gets worse when it's cold, but I used to do 100 push-ups every morning. I used to do 3,000 sit-ups. No, 2,000 sit-ups. Ain't doing that shit anymore. Used to be able to do the stack 360 pounds on the lap. Boy, I had to put seatbelt myself into 300 pounds of cast iron weights to hold me down, but used to do 360 pounds on the lap pull. Had the record for pull-ups, 32 pull-ups. Yeah, and the military doesn't care what you do as long as you're able. That's all they want is a live body with a pulse. Yeah, and I still have dreams about running, and it's not out of fear or anything. When my dreams are running are like, if you wanted to psychoanalyze it, expressions of freedom. And I've run up to 25 miles, typically 3 to 8 every day, and fuck, I barely walk to the mailbox anymore. I mean, I could probably run if somebody was shooting at me again or something, but even then, I didn't run very far. I guarantee I'm not zigging and zagging unless I tripped over a pine cone. Mm. I guess the point is we didn't get here by being pussies. So yeah, age has a way of humbling even the boldest of us. So I mean, it's gotten to the point where I feel like a faux, fake, faux tough ass anymore. Like, yeah, I still have the attitude and everything. Then I have to remind myself, like, might not be able to back this up. So make it count, go down good. So there was things that you guys may have heard these stories before on different lives, but I was jumped by 8 or 9 guys in a karaoke club, and there was another dozen outside waiting. All I knew was I heard "Hey Phil," and I didn't remember getting hit or anything. I just remember covering up in this bench seat with 2 6-foot walls behind it. Didn't know how the hostesses got out of there. I was like, who the fuck is hitting me? And I just went, wham, got up, and I just went at the guy, took him down, started pounding the shit out of him. Then the other 8 or 9 guys, 7 or 8 guys, started kicking me. I got up knowing that my buddy was there, and so I didn't have to worry about this guy I had taken down coming up behind me. And it was like, boom, just, it was like fighting tournaments again. kicking the nuts, kicking the nuts, kicking the ribs, ki- you know, kicking the leg. Chair came at me, dodged it, had a scar on my shoulder from that. Then the last guy came running at me and I caught him. I said, "You don't even fucking know me." And they all ran out the door. And as the last guy was going out the door, he said some shit to me, and I wasn't thinking. I should have known, what happens when I go out the door because it's Chinese. There's a bunch of cars with weapons in the trunk. 350-pound rock marine, Sonny, caught me by the collar of my shirt just as I was going out the door and yanked me back in and locked the door. Probably saved my life. Oh, what smart ass. Yeah, I heard about Jeff. That's sad. I know. I think we all know he had some issues, and he was definitely a lonely soul. Uh, that's that's not the only thing I've been through. RD. I've been through so much shit with guns. My employees getting killed in front of me, being a key witness for a year with the Vietnamese gangs put a contract on me to keep me from testifying. My daughters used to ask my mom, why is Papa always around when these things happen? And my mom just told them, God has a purpose for your father, probably because he's the only person that will act when no one else will. And I was never scared during these things. Afterwards, yeah, but when things are happening and something's wrong or nobody's doing anything, I don't think about it. I'm just compelled to act and do the right thing, what I think is the right thing. And to me, if you sit around and do nothing except pull out your phone, you're just as guilty as the perpetrators. Yeah, I don't specifically remember that, all of it. I have a recollection of it. I don't remember all the details. To me, these are things that are happen, and I react to. I do what I do, what I think is best, and I don't dwell on them. Although there are a few that kind of stick out in my mind. Yeah, Ladon was a good guy. I've talked to. I don't recall that instance exactly, but that there was a couple other well-known people that have called me late, and I always answer. If I hear it, I'll answer, and I answered, and I talked a couple of other people out of where they were planning on going or doing. they're still with us today. You know, I'm I and what I've told a lot of these, or the few that I've had, is and I'll never mention their names, is don't you fucking do it. You know, I know life hurts sometimes. Life has kicked me all over the place. You don't give up. God gave you a gift of life. If you take your own life, you're not a Christian. You're insulting God. You're slapping God in the face. There's no salvation for you. Yeah. So I tell people, don't you fucking do it. Call me. You have a problem, fucking call me. If I don't answer, call again. If I don't answer, call again. When I hear it, I will answer. I mean, I've been homeless. I've been so down, like the songs have been down so damn long that it looks like up to me. I've been there. My family took me and dropped me at a homeless veteran center, like dropping a dog at the pound to be euthanized, and waved at me and drove off. And I walked up to the doors and it was fucking closed. I had to walk 12 miles with fucked up joints. I had blisters on my feet the size of silver dollars, and it was pretty much uphill. And when I got to the guy's house and knocked on the door, he opened. I fucking dropped on my knees and fucking cried because I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna go. Stayed with him a couple weeks, and then he dumped me at my friend's machine shop. And then I spent the next couple years living on engine blankets, working in the shop to earn my keep, and sleeping on engine blankets with a junkyard fucking 120-pound German Shepherd sleeping on me in metal filings and hazmat. It's been tough. It hasn't always been easy, you know. But it's like I talk to Sven every day, and now my brother and I both talk to Sven. Is don't give up. Never fucking give up. God didn't put you here to give up. Whatever you're doing, whether you make salvation or not, God put you here for a purpose. I mean, I've probably only got 15, 20 years left. You know, now I feel like the last 10 years, 5 especially, I feel like I'm playing catch up. You know, thank you, RD. I have some people lately calling me mean, you know, and some recently are shadow banning me, you know, even though I've helped them, and that's okay. You know, I'm not mean. What I am is fair, and if you don't listen to me, you know, out of love, I'll let you learn the hard way. Tough love, you know. So I don't try to make anything easy for give them the answers and boom, instant. You know, you have to learn. You have to learn the respect for whatever it is that you're asking from me. Yeah, I would agree with that, Chad. That's very insightful. You go from being bulletproof and Superman and whatever you thought or the military taught you, and you realize, oh shit, time's short and time to be human. Demons be damned. Hey, Troy. No, but I'm granted I'm outspoken. Depending on the scenario, I drop the f bomb quite a bit, and that's more a protective persona, if you will. Because if you meet me in person, I'm all giggles and laughs and Cheshire cat. But on lives, I'm a little more, quite a bit more guarded and kind of like Dagner's. My public personas, I don't give a shit, and so if I don't give a shit, it can't bother me. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't bother me, but you know, but I'll talk about things. You know, most guys won't talk about. I don't care if it's politics, religion, whatever. My caveat is that it has to remain respectful, whether you agree or disagree. It has to be respectful. If we're listening to you, you have to listen to us. I'm not easy, but I'm fair. I give as well as I take. Mm, boy, how this conversation has evolved. That shows you my frame of mind tonight. So, yeah, it is getting bad. Yeah. How you doing, Troy? You have a black screen with. Can the rest of you see me? Or maybe just a lag in the signal? No, I'm good, Troy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know Troy was trying to jump into my lives a few weeks back and couldn't get him in. DH 5x5. Not sure what that means. Yeah, just Troy. No, you're Lurker Troy. You're not just Troy. Just Troy is another channel. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25, but I thought it was like a 4x4. You don't go to Home Depot and say, I want a 16. I still don't get the 5x5, even if it is 25. I still don't understand that. Did I miss something? Funny you said, and I mentioned 4x4. Now I can smell fresh pine in Home Depot for some reason. I wore my hearing aids yesterday. I was like, every time I was like, I heard a noise, I was like, because the deer have a way of creeping up behind me and stuff, which is okay. I just don't want a Sasquatch creeping up behind me because there's been a Sasquatch sighting about 20 miles from here. So, and my window's always open. I took the AC unit out, and now the window's always open. So I told Cloudy, I said, trust me, if Sasquatch sticks his freaking arm through that window, there's going to be DNA evidence all over the place because there are knives next to my bed. And if I can't reach the knife, I'm going to bite. You know, I ain't going out that window. Okay, Chad, have a good one. Thank you, buddy. And Chad, I still haven't forgot the guitar. Just had a few hiccups, but that is coming. Give me another minute, guy. Another geriatric break. Okay, sorry about that. So, anybody here say hi to Sven? Well, he can't see the comments, so no point. But Sven will see this tomorrow. I know tomorrow's a busy day for him. He's got to have some things done on the car. Gets a replacement car while that's being done, but can't use it to transport Runa, his bull terrier. So, gonna have a busy day. But good morning, Sven. You're not seeing chat now? You must have some really lumpy internet, Troy. I, I, it's- oh, Sven isn't in. He'll see it later. He's in Sweden, so what time is it? Yeah, he won't be getting up for a few hours yet. He's 9 hours ahead of me. He gets up and usually on Instagram, I usually delete him, and but I wait until he's told me that he's seen them, and then I delete them. Other times it's just so ridiculous I don't even upload it, and I tell him, yeah, I said, yeah, I deleted it because there's too much nonsense going on. Oh, okay, yeah. No, he'll be up in a few hours. He's subscribed to my channel. If he knows us on Instagram, and you have a YouTube channel he's following. He's also following Kane Rod's live, and Kane Rod and or Mike and Sven talk. I think Peter and Mike Hart and Sven talk. Peter and Sven talk. Yeah, so they all talk. Sven's a good guy. I don't know why, he's been like a older brother to me. He's been helping me for freaking almost a year now. Oh, okay. So town got new optics and they haven't connected your old fiber optics or your old cable with the fiber optics yet. So, or put in a routing system. What time is it? Oh, Jesus. This is that time of year when it gets dark early and I keep going to bed like, oh, I'm going to be up in 3 hours. I can't. Wow. Sounds like a keeper, 20 inches. That barely makes the minimum length requirement. Fishing joke. Sorry, Troy. Congratulations. My twin daughters were born at 5'9" and 6'9", and they were supposed to be they were taller than 90%, but they still come to here on me, So and now they're dang near 40. Hmm. My mom was tall. I mean, back in the day, she was 5'10", which was tall for women back then. Wow, 6'9". How many squatches tall is that? That's like a juvenile Sasquatch. Jesus. 6'9". Mm. I mean, I was 5'11 and a half, and I was taller than 90% of the people my age at that time. But now, apparently, I've shrunk because of all the degenerative disc disease. And my chiropractor a few years ago asked how tall I was. I said 5'11 and a half, and he said, "I'm giving you 5'10". And I was like, "Oh my god." So, hey, Oscar, I'm thinking it's Instagram, and I'm trying to tap, but I can't tap. So, those aren't shoes, Troy. Those are boats. Jeez. Who were your ancestors? Redwoods or sequoias? Well, I'm not going to be on much longer because it's getting cold and my hands are starting to burn. And I got hot soup on the stove. But I'll finish this smoke and this beer, or I'll finish this smoke, or I'll finish the beer, and one or the other finishes. I'm going to call it a night. No, I'm not taking off right now. I got a couple minutes. Although I know you guys popping in, it's you what 11 or 10:30 your time. Maybe Oscar's 11:30. I want to make see on the way I was taught to make chicken and dumplings. It was like chicken. You made your homemade chicken soup, and then you mixed up like biscuit dough, and you made little balls and dropped them in, put them in steamed for so long, and then took it off, let them finish. To me, that's chicken dumplings. But on the East Coast and the Midwest, I mean, you're talking about making noodles, flour, water, whatever, then dropping those in. But either way, I love chicken noodle soup or chicken and dumplings. There you go. Why not double up on it? That sounds great. I'm only thing that can make it better is chicken gravy on the side, and you take the dumplings out, the biscuit dumplings out, and pour gravy on them. Why not? Gotta buy new glasses. I'm wearing 2-year-old, 3-year-old prescriptions because my new ones are, even though I had them corrected, they're it's like looking through a prism back in elementary school, and everything goes like this. So I gotta once I finish paying everything else and get a little bit more fluid, I'm gonna go to the get another eye exam from the VA here, and I'm gonna order the Chiron the horn rim glasses that all the Hollywood stars wear, whatever, and they have their own designed clip on or magnetic. Well, they have both magnetic and clip on. uh, Sunglasses. Yeah, and they're not that expensive. It's like 119, but it's still made in America. They've been made in America since the 1940s. Yeah. Well, I'm just getting coconut vinegar up here. Cost me bank. Amazon wanted 18 bucks a bottle, but I found a Korean online market, so I bought 3 bottles of coconut vinegar for 18 bucks plus the shipping, and it was cheaper than Amazon. But you know, not like Sacramento, I could go to the Asian market, get a Peking duck or char siu, pho, Vietnamese restaurant, Filipino restaurant, whatever I wanted. Mexican grocers were right around the corner from me. Yeah, that ain't happening up here. Glad I brought a lot of that stuff with me. Bunzu, tomato and crab soup, Vietnamese restaurant. Luckily, I brought a few cans of the crab meat paste up with me. Yeah, I've never had a. I wouldn't even know what a 5-star dumpling is. Although Chinese dumplings are different. They're more like a wonton, if you will. And the Chinese one that gets all the rave reviews is there's actually meat and liquid inside. So you cut it, it kind of bursts in your mouth. Okay. Just got a message from Kane Rod. Something I sent him is responding. Thanks. I'll have to look at it later. Yeah, soup dumplings. I mean, I used to make wontons, everything from scratch. Pot stickers. Pot stickers and wontons are the same thing. They're just shaped differently. You can go buy the Panda. Panda is a good brand. The big bag of pot stickers. You can steam those, throw them in your soup. That's great. Or you can, make pot stickers out of them. You put a 1/4 inch of water and a little oil in it. Let them steam for about 10-15 minutes. Take the lid off. Let it cook down until it crisps the bottom. Yeah, still great. I think you can pick those up at Safeway, Walmart. Chinese stores, you used to be able to get all kinds of different frozen already made. Yeah, they do. Well, very few countries in Asia eat the cat, but there's countries that, Philippines, China, Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia eat the dog. Cat, cat, cat usually doesn't make the top of the list. horse is good. My brother was in Belgium. They call bruschettes, deep fried, like shish kebabs of horse meat, and they would take the old horses and butcher them and eat them. I mean, here we don't do it, but I mean the horse is old, or it's lame. Why not utilize it? That's how messed up my glasses are. I have the comment box here, and then for the last 20 minutes I thought was a star, and then in the middle, and then an arrow on the right. It's not a star, it's the plus or add, whatever function of it. I've had turtle. Not a fan of turtle. Brother-in-law served it to me and my brother, and soft shell turtle, and I was married to the older sister. My brother was later on married to her younger sister. But we had dinner at his house, and he had soft shell turtle and told us how expensive it was and how to make you live a long life. It was like eating fish flavored jello. I mean, if it tastes like fish, it ain't fresh. Just saying. So fish flavored jello. And I was like, told me how long it was supposed to make you live a long life. I said, so if I die, you're gonna get your money back. Yeah. Well, when I grew up on the dairy, the tallow works was 10 acres away. You could see it. So anything that died, we dragged it with the tractor over there. I think I tasted paste once or twice when I was, preschool or whatever. I think I even tasted Elmer's glue, but paste had if I recall correctly, it was almost sweet, almost sweet. But you can only eat so much of that, Mr. Ed. Hey, Wilbur. Anyways, gentlemen, I think we've been on an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half. It's time for me to go in and get some supper and warm up, watch a movie, and go to sleep. Appreciate you, guy. Sound it out, Phil. Appreciate you, gentlemen, joining in. Remember, be good. If you can't be good, be great. If you can't be great, be fucking awesome. Okay, guys. Good night. Love y'all. Thank you for joining in. We'll do this again. Take care. I'm trying to end the chat and it's asking me if I want to do a poll. No, I don't want to do a poll. Good night, guys.